Good day, everyone. Today we are going to knit a hat instead of crochet. And you can find this pattern on the Yarnspirations website. They used a Caron 1-pound yarn. I'm going to be using, this is called Mainstays yarn, and it's 100% acrylic. And it's a number 4 weight, 397 yards. And I'm going to be using a number 7 and number 8 knitting needle. And the color of this yarn is pink. I purchased this brand of yarn from Walmart. And I thought the pink was cute for a child's hat, and that's what we're going to make, a child's hat. As I start making the hat, I'm going to use this number 7 knitting needle. This is a number 7. And after I get to about 6.5 inches of the hat as I'm making it, I'm going to change to a number 8. And you can slightly see the difference in size as far as the thickness goes. Okay, so we're going to use the 7 first, then the 8. As you can see, the hat comes in 3 sizes: small, medium, and large, which the large is an adult hat. The small is a toddler. It's pretty easy to follow because the level says easy. Oh, so it says the hat fits 2 to 4 years old for the first one, 8 to 10 years old for the middle one, and this is the adult size. The only thing about this pattern is that when you print it, you must print it using color and black and white, because when you use the color for 8 to 10 years old, you have to look for the gold color. You have to look for the gold color. For 2 to 4, this is a burgundy color, as you can see. An adult is like a very light olive color. I really couldn't see good enough with the adult, so I wrote the number for me. You see that? So let's get started. With the child size hat, we are going to say, it says use smaller size needle, which is the number 7. And what we're going to do, we're going to follow all the burgundy colored numbers. This is for, I believe, centimeters, and this side is inches. I'm always going to look at the inches. We're going to cast on 70 inches. Now, I've already cast on 70 inches. So what we're going to do, the first row, we're going to knit 1. And then we're going to knit 2, purl 2 across the row. And at the end, you'll have 3 stitches. And you're going to end with a knit 1. When you get to that last stitch, it's a knit 1. So I'm going to say it again. The first row, we're going to knit 1. Then we're going to knit 2 again, and then we're going to purl 2. And then you see this asterisk? You follow the asterisk. So we're going to knit 2, purl 2 until we get to the last stitch, and that's going to be a knit 1. Okay, so here we go. We're going to knit 1. Knit 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to purl 2. When you start the first row, it's always a little tight. It gets looser as you go to knit each row. It gets looser, but right now at the beginning, it's tight. Okay, so now we're going to purl 2. 1, 2. Knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2, 1, 2. When I say knit, that means your yarn should be behind the needle. And you're going to knit 2. 1, 2. When I say we're going to purl, and we're going to purl 2, the yarn is in front of the needle. And you put your needle this right back into the front, and you purl, and we're purling 2. 1, 2. We're going to knit. The yarn goes to the back, and you see the needle goes under from the back to the front. 1, 2. That's how we knit. Okay. Back to the front with the yarn. And we're going to purl 2. 1, 2. Bring the yarn to the back of the needle, and we're going to knit 2. So when you're purling, the yarn is in the front, your needle goes right here. Okay, when we're purling, the needle goes right here this way. When you knit, we go that way. So watch. Purl 2. And then we bring the yarn to the back of the needle, and we bring our needle the opposite way, and we're going to knit 2. So continue knitting 2 and purling 2 to the end of the row, and I'll meet you there. We're at the end of the row, and there's 3 stitches left, and we're going to end the 3 stitches by making 2 purls, because we just knitted 2. So now we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, and we're going to knit the last stitch. So with this row, we started the first row with 1 knit at the beginning and 1 knit at the end. So now we're going to turn it over, and now we're going to purl 1, knit 2, purl 1. That's what it says to do for row 2. So we're going to purl 1, knit 2, 1, 2, purl 2. Because see, when you look at this, when you see these bumps in the back, you see the bumps? When you see the bumps in the back, that's purling. When you don't see the bumps here, that's knitting. So you're going to do what you see. These are 2 purls, so we're going to purl 2. 1, 2. You see 2 knits, so we're going to knit 2. 1, whoop, 1, 2. You see the 2 bumps again? We're going to purl 2. 1, 2. So we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, and we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, all the way across. We're at the end of the second row with 3 stitches remaining, and we just finished knitting 2. So now, where you see the 2 humps or bumps, we're going to purl 2, 1, 2, and the last stitch we're going to knit because you really don't see a hump. This is a knit stitch right here, and we're going to knit 1. And now we're going to start the third row. And we're going to follow what we see. You see a hump here or a bump, so we're going to purl. Now you see 2 knit rows. Oh, now you see 2 knit rows, so we're going to knit 1, 2. We see 2 bumps, 1, 2, we're going to purl 2. 1, 2. Knit 2, 1, 2. Remember, we're following a pattern. We're knitting 2 and we're purling 2 with the smaller size needle. Knit 2, purl 2. When you look at it, you start seeing the pattern. You see the knit 1, the knit 2, you see the purl 2. Knit 2, purl 2. Let's continue on. I just finished purling 2 because you see the 2 humps. So now I'm going to knit 1. All right, now we're going to start row 4, and you see the bump, so we're going to purl 1, because every time you see a bump, that's purl, and we're going to knit 2, 1, 2, and we're going to knit 2 and purl 2 down the row. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Knit 2, purl 2, down the row. Thank you for watching me. Thank you, thank you. I hope you're learning from me too. See, I'm knitting 2 and I'm purling 2 down the row. Now looking at row 4, you get a better picture of what you're doing for rows 1 and 2. And we're going to keep doing this until we get to, because we're doing a child's hat, an infant hat from 2 to 4 years, we're going to go, as you look at the pattern, it says, continue the last 2 rows with the knit 2, purl 2 instructions until it measures. See the burgundy number 4? We're looking at that. We're not looking at 5. We're not looking at 6. We're looking at all the burgundy colors. And pay attention to this paragraph, not the second, paragraph, but pay attention to these, to the 3 colored ones, because these are inches and these are centimeters. All right, so we're going to do this for 4 inches. Repeat rows 1 and 2 for 4 inches. The instruction says to knit 2, purl 2 until the piece measures 4 inches. Whoops. And right now my piece is measured 4 inches. So we worked with a size 7 needle. Now we're going to change to an 8. And this is the 8. Looking at the instructions, and I'm paying attention to the burgundy color for a 2 to 4 year old child for the hat. So I knit 2, purl 2 until I reached 4 inches. Now I'm changing to larger size needle, and I'm gonna continue by knitting 1 row and purling the other row until the piece measures 6.5 inches. You see that? Now I'm only paying attention to inches, to this area here, because this area is centimeters. Now let's start knitting to 6.5 inches. When you're done with knitting 2, purling 2, and getting your 4 inches, the tail should be to the left. That's the right side. And your last row, you should end with the purl. You see the bump? That's a purl. So now we're just going to knit this row, going under, around, and out. You got that? You go under, around, and out. Under, around, and out. Under, around, and out. Okay? Just continue knitting that way. Under, around, and out. Under, around, and out. Okay, so continue on. I finished knitting the first row. Now we're going to purl the second row because we just knitted. So you're going to take the free needle. You're going to bring your needle to the front, and using our size 8, the larger needle, we're going to bring our yarn and we're going to wrap around to the front, pull the yarn through and out. We're going to go in, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. All the way. Wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. You got it? Go into the front, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. Into the front, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out, all the way to the end. Now it's time to knit the next row. And I just want to explain something, because when you knit, you take the free needle and you bring your needle under the needle with the stitches, and you wrap, pull the yarn through and out. Now, this is how I was taught to go under this way, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. But for me, it's easier for me, or no, let me put it this way. I prefer to take my needle, wait, let me hold this. I prefer to take my needle to the back. Instead of going to the front like this, instead of going like this, I prefer to just go to the back, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. You just go into the back, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. Now, if you prefer to go to the front instead of the back, I say, I don't think there's a wrong way or a right way, okay? My feeling, I like to go to the back and wrap around. Some rather go to the front. Either way, you're still going to wrap around the back, pull the yarn through and out, okay? So do what makes you feel is easier, all right? So now that I've shown you that, I'm going to continue from the back. Okay, and we're just going to knit. You go in, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. You see how I went to the back? I'll show you the front again. You go to the front, wrap around, pull the yarn through and out. But for me, it's just so much easier just going to the back. All right, so I'm going to do a few rows of knitting, one row, purling the other, so I can give you a better look on how it's going to turn out. All right, and remember, we're going to do this for 6.5 inches because we're doing a child's hat 2 to 4 years old. All righty, I've done a few more rows just so you can see how the hat's going to look. This is the 4 inches here that we did knitting to, purling to. Now we're just knitting one row and purling the other. And we continue that process until we get to 6.5 inches from the bottom to the top. All right? So I'll see you at 6.5 inches. I continue knitting. So now I'm at knit 1, knit 3 together. And then I'm going to go to knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1. You see that? Knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 3, purl the next row, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, purl the next row. And this is the end of the toddler hat, ages 2 to 4. So let's do these last 2 rows here together. And as you knit 2 together, this is how it looks. You should have this. Okay? You see this? This is your knit 2 together, knit 2 together. And on the other side, see all the knit 2 togethers? You have it here. Wait, okay, you have it here, 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 and you have it back here. All right, you see the shaping of the hat? See how it's shaping as you decrease? So let's do knit 3, knit 2 together. Okay, here we go. Knit 1. Oh, okay, here we go. Knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and now we're going to knit 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Then we knit 2 together, knit 2 together, and as we knit 2 together, this is what you're getting right here. You see the knit 2 together is right here. Knit 3, 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, knit 2 together. I'm sorry that the camera's shaking. Okay, so we just did 2 slip slip knits and we're at the end. So now we go 1, 2, 3, knit 2 together, and we knit 1. So now we're going to purl the opposite row. We purl the opposite row, and I'm going to do that, and then we're going to go knit 1, knit 2 together. Now that I've done a row of purling, this is our last decrease. So we're going to knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 1. Knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 1, knit 2 together, knit 2 together, knit 1. There's 3 stitches left. We're going to knit 2 together, knit 1, and you should have 14 stitches remaining. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. And I'm gonna purl the last 14 stitches, and we're gonna put the hat together. This is the shape of the hat it should look like before we sew the hat together. You see this? You see the crown? So now we're going to leave a long tail and really leave a long tail and cut your yarn. Get a large eye needle and thread it. This is how I thread my needle. And we're going to take our needle and we're going to pick up the stitches, just like so. We're going to pick up these 14 stitches. Uh-oh, you gotta be careful. You don't want any slip-ups. I'm just picking up the stitches with my large eye needle. Make sure you get all of the stitches. And I'm going to pull the yarn through. All right. Okay, see? I threaded. I picked up the stitches. Now I'm going to pull. And it closes it. Now, you can have you can cut a long piece of the yarn and you can sew from the top down. When I make my hats, I like to start leaving a long tail because I like to sew going up. So I'm going to sew the hat together. Make sure you pull this tight. And then you just sew going down. But what I do is I pull it tight and I have it tight here, and then I sew around in here. Then I sew, because I have a long string, I start from the bottom up. And usually it goes all the way up to the top. That's why I like to start with a long string of yarn before I start my hat. So I'm going to go ahead and put it together so you can see what it looks like. This is how the hat looks once it's sewn together. You see the crown. And I'm going to put a pom-pom on top. And if you want to learn how to do a pom-pom, just go to my videos and you'll see a video on how to make a pom-pom. All right? So I hope you didn't have a hard time understanding my instructions and the pattern on how to make this hat. And you can make it in 3 sizes. And it's pretty easy to make. But there's another hat that's really simple, and I'm going to do that next. And it's all knitting, no purling. So stay tuned because that hat is coming. Until next time, knit away. Bye now.